What are your thoughts about this timeline? Because it seems like prosecutors are going to lean on it, right? They want to be able to tell a story to the jury. They want it to make sense. You put together a timeline. They're talking about text messages, and what they're saying is the death happens, the shooting happens, and then there's activity on her phone, not from her, but from him, and they believe so because of the recording on her phone.
Well, jurors love to hear timelines. They want to understand a story from beginning to end. So, of course, the prosecution is going to present it in a way that is their timeline, their explanation of how they think the events unfolded. At the end of the day, they're going to have to prove it up, and that means bringing in the forensic experts to show that the times they're claiming these events occurred actually occurred at those times. We see in other cases that sometimes the experts aren't even correct when they approximate times. We'd like to think it's a science, but when we are recreating a timeline, there's a question about whether or not it can be proven beyond a reasonable doubt.
Let me ask you, Ken, about this evidence about walking downstairs. They say they have a time frame for that, walking down a flight of stairs prior to calling 911, turning the flashlight on the phone. Do you believe some of this stuff will end up telling the story and painting a picture like you painted inside that courtroom down in the Low Country of what Alec Murdaugh was doing when he murdered his family?
Vinny, if the methodology is strong enough with the other physical evidence and it can be corroborated by the timeline, and as my co-guest mentioned, there's two tails with that timeline, and it depends on how strong it is and how it can be verified, and if the other physical evidence from this case will tie in to tell that story.
Let me ask you, Lauren, what is going to resonate with this jury? Is it going to be the story of what was going on in the relationship? Is it going to be the digital evidence? Which do you think will have more impact on the people who must decide what happened here?
I think both. I think the story of the relationship sort of colors the tale and gives the context for the prosecution's theories of these events. But I have to say, we see more and more jurors holding the government to very high standards. When they bring very serious charges against people, they need to connect the dots in every which way. Or the defense will say they just have missed a spot, they've missed an element, and they haven't proven to you a perfect case. We're seeing jurors really want it all to make sense to them across the board.
Yeah, we saw that up in Massachusetts in the Karen Reed case, and we know what the jury said there. Okay, our guests are staying with us.